Let us begin with a sentence that sounds provocative. The rich do not work for money. At first, this sounds ridiculous. Of course they work. Of course they earn. But hidden inside this phrase, there is a very important idea about how wealthy people relate to money, time, and opportunity in a very different way from most people. And understanding this difference can quietly change how you make decisions in your own life, even if right now you are far from rich, even if you are paying debts, even if you are just starting. Today, we are going to explore what it really means to not work for money, what the rich actually work for, and how you can begin to shift your mindset and actions toward a more intelligent, calm, and powerful relationship with money. This is not about worshiping rich people. It is about learning what systems, habits, and mental models they use, so that you can adopt what is healthy and useful, and ignore what is ego and excess. And before we dive in, if you like content that goes deeper than save more, spend less, and helps you truly understand money, mindset, and behavior, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. That small action tells the platform and tells me that you care about real growth, not just quick tips you forget tomorrow. Now, Part 1. Working for money versus making money work for you. Most people grow up with one simple formula in their minds. I work, I receive a salary, I spend, maybe I save a little. If they need more, they think, I must work more hours, find a second job, ask for overtime. In this model, money is something you only receive in direct exchange for your time and energy. You give hours. You receive money. Stop giving hours. Money stops. This is what we can call working for money. It is not wrong. It is necessary at many times in life. But there is a limit. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. If all your income depends only on you working more, there is a ceiling you cannot cross. The rich, in general, learn to think beyond this model. They ask, how can I use money not only to buy things, but to buy or build systems that continue to generate value even when I am not working at this moment? In other words, they focus on making money work for them. Part 2. Understanding assets and liabilities in real life. One of the biggest differences between how the rich and the non-rich think about money is the way they see assets and liabilities. Let us define them in simple terms. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket over time. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket over time. Notice, this is not about what is fancy or simple. It is about the direction of cash flow. For example, a car can be an asset if it helps you generate income, like a delivery worker or driver who uses it for work. But for many people, a car is a liability. It costs fuel, maintenance, insurance, taxes, and does not produce income. A house you live in may feel like an asset, but financially it is often a liability because it takes money every month and does not pay you. A small apartment you rent to someone is more clearly an asset because it sends you money every month. The rich spend more time and energy building and buying assets. Most people spend most of their money on liabilities that look like success on the outside, but silently take money away every month. When someone says, "The rich do not work for money," it often means they focus first on buying or building assets so that money flows to them even when they are not working directly. Part 3. The mindset of cash flow instead of salary only. Ask most people, how much do you earn? They will answer, I earn this amount per month from my job. Salary. The rich think more in terms of cash flow. Income streams. Of course, many of them also have jobs or businesses where they trade time for money. But they also ask, what other flows can I create? For example, a small rental income, dividends from stocks, interest from bonds, revenue from a digital product, profit from a small business. Each flow might be small in the beginning, but over time, they can grow, combine, and give a different level of security and freedom. So instead of thinking only, how can I increase my salary? You begin to ask, how can I add one more small income stream this year? Part 4. The rich work to learn and build skills, not only to earn. Another important difference is the question, why am I doing this work? Many people choose jobs only based on immediate salary. The focus is, how much will they pay me this month? The rich, especially in their early years, often choose opportunities based on what they can learn, who they can meet, and what skills they will develop, even if the salary is not the highest at first. They understand that skills are one of the most valuable assets. Skills like sales, negotiation, communication, management, technical expertise, marketing, problem solving. These skills increase their earning power for decades. So while most people work only for this month's paycheck, the rich are often working to build abilities that will later allow them to create businesses, invest well, or take advantage of opportunities that others do not even see. Part 5. The relationship with risk and fear. Wealth is not only about numbers, it is deeply connected to emotion, especially fear. Fear of losing money, fear of failure, fear of judgment. Most people are trained to avoid risk as much as possible. Get a safe job, stay quiet. Do not try anything crazy. There is wisdom in avoiding stupid risks, but avoiding all risk also means avoiding many opportunities. The rich do not love risk. They are often very careful, but they practice taking calculated risks. They ask, what is the potential gain? What is the potential loss? How can I protect myself? What information do I need before deciding? And then they act. They understand that some losses are part of the game. A business that does not work, an investment that goes down. Instead of saying, see, I knew I should never try. They treat it as tuition, the price of learning in the real world. This does not mean you should copy everything they do. But if you want to move past only working for salary, you will need to develop a more mature relationship with risk. Part 6. Leveraging time, systems, people, and technology. There are only 24 hours in a day. If your income depends only on your own hours, you are trapped by this limit. The rich look for ways to separate time from income. They do this by building systems, teams, and using technology. For example, a person who works alone as a freelancer limits their income to the number of clients they can personally serve. A person who builds a small agency with processes and other people can serve many more clients, even if they are not doing every task themselves. A person who creates a digital product spends time once creating it, and then can sell it many times, often with the help of digital platforms. The rich are constantly asking, how can I design this activity so it can run with less of my time in the future? It does not happen overnight. But this mindset pushes them to think in terms of leverage. doing one action that can create many results instead of one action for one result. Part 7. Taxes, rules, and playing the long game. Another big difference is how deeply the rich understand the rules of the financial system. Many people never learn about taxes, interest, inflation, and basic investment tools. They only see the money that enters and leaves their bank account. The rich study the rules. They understand how different types of income are taxed, how to legally pay less tax by using the correct structures and incentives that governments create to encourage certain activities, like investing in businesses or housing, how inflation reduces the value of money over time, and why keeping all your savings stuck with no growth is a silent risk. They play the long game. They are willing to wait years for an investment to grow, instead of chasing only short-term rewards. This knowledge is not a secret code only for millionaires. Much of it is accessible through books, courses, and reliable content. But it requires curiosity and the humility to admit, I did not learn this in school. I will learn it now. Part 8. What the rich actually work for. So if the rich do not work for money, what do they work for? They work for assets that generate income, skills that increase their value, systems that multiply their time, networks of people with whom they can co-create opportunities, knowledge about rules, taxes, and markets, and often for a sense of autonomy, of playing their own game instead of only following orders. Money is a tool, a very important tool, but still a tool. They see it as something to be directed, like water through channels toward assets, projects, and causes that align with their goals and values. Part 9. How you can start where you are. At this point, you might think, okay, this sounds nice, but I have debts, I have bills, I am far from rich. And that is true for many people. So let us bring these ideas to a practical, realistic level. Step 1. Stabilize your base. If your finances are chaotic, focus first on clarity. Know your numbers. Reduce high-interest debt if possible. Build a small emergency fund. You cannot think about assets if every month is a survival crisis. Step 2. Invest in one skill that can increase your earning power. Maybe it is improving your English. Maybe it is a technical skill related to your work. Maybe it is communication, sales, or digital tools. Choose one and commit to consistent practice. Step 3. Create or strengthen one small asset. This might be a simple investment in a low-cost fund, a small amount in a retirement plan, a tiny online product or service that can generate some income. The number is less important than the habit. You are telling yourself, I am someone who builds assets, even if they are small right now. Step 4. Move one part of your income from work only to cash flow mindset. For example, decide that a small percentage of any extra income goes to investments or to building a mini project that can produce future income. Step 5. Learn one new rule about money each month. It could be about taxes, investments, or financial planning. Over a year, you will have 12 new pieces of understanding that can change how you play the game. Part 10. Changing identity, not just actions. All of this is easier when you begin to see yourself differently. Not as, I am poor and will always stay like this, but as, I am a person who is learning to manage money more intelligently. I am building assets step by step. Identity drives behavior. When you see yourself as someone who only survives, you may unconsciously repeat patterns of pure consumption. When you see yourself as a builder, you begin to ask better questions, make different choices, and feel a little more responsible and powerful with each decision. As we move toward the end, let us summarize the core idea. The rich do not work for money does not mean they sit all day doing nothing. It means they do not rely only on their salary, and they do not see money as the final goal. They work to build assets, skills, systems, and knowledge that allow money to work for them, so that over time their dependence on direct labor reduces and their freedom increases. You may not be there yet. You may be at the very beginning. That is okay. Every person who today has financial freedom once started from a simple place. Maybe with debt. Maybe with confusion. Maybe with fear. The difference is that at some point they began to learn, to experiment, to see money not only as something they receive and spend, but as a tool they can direct with intention. If this video helped you see money and work from a new angle, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. And in English, write in the comments. What is one small step you can take this year to stop working only for money and start making money work more for you? Maybe it is learning a new skill. Maybe it is starting a tiny investment. Maybe it is creating a small source of extra income. Whatever it is, name it clearly. Because financial freedom does not appear as magic. It is built, decision by decision, by a version of you who is willing to think differently, to act gradually, and to use money not as a master that controls your life, but as a servant. You learn to guide in the direction of more stability, more options, and a life where you are not working only for the next paycheck, but building something that can last beyond the hours you work today.